Hello and welcome, and the cars on both my sides. This is the all-new BYD Sealion 6. Now, if you don't know what this car is, this is what they call the Song Plus in China or elsewhere in the world as the Seal U. Now, what exactly this car is according to BYD, it's like a range extender hybrid car. But in reality, what we're gonna tell you, and we'll tell you pretty frankly, these are plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Now, in this video, let's see what they have to offer and how it will be positioned in relation to the BYD Atto 3. Now, starting off from the exterior of the BYD Sealion 6, you'll immediately notice that it is so much bigger compared to a BYD Atto 3. But surprise, surprise, it's even cheaper compared to a BYD Atto 3. Now, why is that? Well, that's because it isn't really a fully electric vehicle. Again, it is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Under the hood, what you'll find here is a 1.5-liter gasoline engine that most of the time works simply as a generator, just like what you would get with a Nissan Kicks, a series hybrid system. But for 90+% of the time, you're gonna have that electric motor, which makes 217 horsepower combined and 325 Newton meters of torque driving your wheels. Your pure EV mode for this vehicle is at around 100 kilometers, and your extended range mode or your combined mode tops out at a whopping 1,100 kilometers, which is pretty impressive. In terms of performance, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, really good, 8.3 seconds, especially given the size of this vehicle. Now, let's explore its exterior now. You'll immediately notice that it doesn't really use like a Chinese character emblem for the grille, right? This is because, at least here in the Philippines, BYD is selling this under the Ocean series of things, just like the BYD Dolphin instead of the Dynasty series. You also have these nice dual U-shaped LED headlights on the side of the vehicle. You get 19-inch rims too. And seriously, just take a look at the size of this car. It really is pretty big. In terms of, the width of the car, that aside, it's bigger compared to a Toyota RAV4, it's bigger compared to a Honda CR-V, and obviously it's also bigger compared to the Ford Territory as well as the Toyota Corolla Cross. It's leading competitors in terms of HEVs. Now, for the rear too, you still do get that BYD badge. You also get this DMI badge. What does that mean? Well, it's just BYD telling you that it is the range extender EV variant of this particular vehicle. Again, Sealion 6 badge over here instead of Song Plus or even the Seal U. And as you open up this power tailgate, you'll notice that space in here is not bad because the car is pretty large. You'll also notice that there is a subwoofer over here because this car gets a 9+1 Infinity audio system. 9+1 because you get 9 speakers and 1 for your subwoofer. For the interior of the BYD Sealion 6, if you've sat inside the BYD Dolphin already, this will look pretty familiar. It has very similar design cues, even to the Atto 3, honestly. But what I'm noticing is that you get so much more space over here. The main highlights for this interior would include, of course, the panoramic sunroof. You get your leather seats, you get a digital instrument cluster, and you even have BYD's trademark rotating 15.6-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay. Okay, no surprise there, but it also comes with wireless Android Auto, so that is really good. You also get dual 15-watt wireless chargers here down the middle. You have the Heart of Ocean crystal-like shifter, which looks pretty nice. You got tons of drive modes for this one, including your regular Eco, Normal, and Sport. And you can even configure between the EV mode as well as the hybrid electric vehicle mode. The rear seats are also pretty impressive given the size of this vehicle. From your legroom to your headroom and even your feet room, that is equally as impressive. For toys, you don't really get that much, but the standard bits that you would want in the car is here. You get your dual air vents, you get a USB-A port, a USB-C port, a center armrest with 2 cup holders, and easy seating for 3 adults because the car isn't too narrow and your floor is also completely flat. Now we get to try out the BYD Sealion 6, and upon first impressions, there really is a lot of power with this vehicle. So BYD again says 0 to 100 in 8.3 seconds. Honestly, it feels a little bit faster than that. Now, what's also pretty impressive here is BYD says that they've put acoustic glass here by the windshield. So it's supposed to make things a lot quieter. I don't really have a comparison of a model of this vehicle without that acoustic glass, but I can happily report that at first try, yes, this car is pretty quiet. Now, couple that with the powertrain that's mostly electric, and with that gasoline generator working, well, not really a lot, right? It rarely works, right? Only when you really need it to. And what you have is a very relaxing drive in here. Given the size of this vehicle too, as well as the length of its wheelbase, it's also pretty good. We are driving it on a private road with relatively decent roads. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent. And yeah, road undulations aren't too felt. It's not that haptic. I think that this would be pretty good in Manila roads. Stay tuned for the full review for that. Now, what's also pretty impressive with this BYD Sealion 6 is the amount of advanced driver assistance systems that you get. I mean, sure, those are pretty normal in cars nowadays, but for a car of this size, also being a new energy vehicle, as well as its price, having the full suite of advanced driver assistance systems is now really impressive. So aside from your regular adaptive cruise control, your lane keeping assist, your autonomous emergency braking, the Sealion 6 also gets traffic jam assist, which means in theory that in city speeds, if you're driving on EDSA, for example, you don't really have to touch the wheel that much. It's practically gonna drive itself for you. It's still not a Tesla, it's still not that full autonomous driving, but this is about as good as it gets insofar as Philippine roads are concerned. Since we don't really have an open road right now, we can kind of do like a slight moose test right here. Hold on. So I'm gonna go straight, turn it left, right. And yeah, that is pretty good. Even if this is a pretty large compact SUV, still handles pretty decently. You can still easily avoid mooses as they come on the road. I'm also noticing that even though the steering wheel is pretty light, once you do turn it hard, it quickly adapts to being a little bit heavier, which gives you some extra reassurance when you are driving on the highway, for example. Now you can get the BYD Sealion 6 in 3 colors. You have the Azure Blue, the Arctic White, as well as the Harbor Gray. This is the Azure Blue, this is the Harbor Gray. Fun fact, if you get it in the Arctic White or the blue one, you'll get it with that gray and blue interior. But if you go for this gray variant, you're gonna get it with a tan and black interior, which I believe is a little bit more unique. And personally, I like the look of it more. But now let's go pricing. How much do you think that this car would cost? Again, I said it's cheaper compared to the BYD Atto 3. Yes, because it only costs around 1.6 million pesos, which makes it a true contender to one day, hopefully, be a best-selling new energy vehicle here in our country.